Hello, riders. Hey, if you notice, this section is talking about private group motorcycle trips. So, first of all, remember that all the services we provide revolve around using the rental motorcycles that we have in each of the locations shown. So, this is really about using our bikes and not having to worry about shipping your own motorcycle or dealing with any of the international risk or customs agents or customs brokers or any of the mess that can come along with that. So, you'll be using our own bikes, and then whether you want it to be a private group tour or not is really up to yourself to decide. But of course, there are things to consider. So, in the situation of just a self-guided trip, so like you see self-guided opportunities on our website, and that can be just a rental, or it can be in a self-guided fly and ride package where we've preset and pre-reserved all your hotels for you. In a self-guided situation, the cost of making and the ability to make your own private group is no difference. So you can make your own private group based on yourself or yourself and a couple of friends or whatever, and it really doesn't matter how many people you bring. It's really just a cost per person. But in the event you want a private group tour where it is also a guided tour, where again, like one of our lead motorcycle guides like myself, or a support truck driver follows your group to carry your luggage and act as support and backup and emergency and flat tire fixes and carrying your luggage and all that stuff. Anytime you start to add those factors into it, like one of us as guides or a support truck guide, now you've introduced a common or a fixed cost in the equation. And so that basically means that the fewer riders you have, the more the trip is going to cost per rider. If you kind of imagine that, take a brick of money and divide it up across more, a brick of cost and specifically, and divide it up against 10 riders, and it's going to cost less overall per rider than it is for two to enjoy the same services. So hope that makes sense. Because the more riders, the lower the cost per rider. But that's really only, again, in a guided group scenario where we have common costs. So these trips can be done, private group tours can be organized on dirt, on pavement, on both. We have all those kinds of options available for you. But especially because now you might be talking about a group of 5 or 6 or 7 riders or whatever, it becomes particularly important for you to get this reserved far in advance. Imagine a motorcycle fleet schedule all being juggled and fitted into the itineraries and reservations of dozens and hundreds of riders from around the world for one peak season in one region of the world. Now all of a sudden 6 or 8 of you want to come in and use a block of bikes for a set amount of time. As you can imagine, that all of a sudden fitting 6 or 7 or 8 bikes into the schedule is a harder thing to do. So it just means that reservations typically for groups like that need to be made further in advance, because obviously as our schedule gets more and more full, it's possible to fit 1 or 2 bikes into a schedule more easily than it is a group. Anyway, I think I've beat that topic to death. So we love doing this kind of work for private groups. Although our website is full of opportunities that, we've preset these itineraries and we've ridden these countries and routes, and we know that this is the greatest route possible, a private group actually introduces the opportunity that you can have it customized to your group's likings. If you want to have a rest day so that you can do some whitewater rafting, or if you want to do some little extra side tour or an extra night in a city that you've always wanted to visit, or whatever it is, your own private itinerary like that can be customized to make it your ideal trip to exactly what you want. But that all starts based on having a discussion with us. Let us know what it is you want. Let us know the style of your group. To that point also, our itineraries are based on what we have come to know the average rider as appreciating for a typical day's motorcycle riding. But maybe your group wants to be a little bit more relaxed, or you'd like to be a little bit more aggressive. We have limits of doing each on either end of that. Of course, as guides, we can't necessarily ride 20 hours a day like some of you want to, but it's all about having a discussion. Talk about that with us. Tell us what would make your ideal trip, and guarantee we can put it together for you. So let us know what you want to do and book well in advance, folks.